So we have here 7 stages of cloud crisis management and assess risk. We know that we need to assess risk all the time, and that's pretty much the beginning of your identifying where your major key players are, where your most important information is sitting in the environment. What is the risk if that information or if that data was to get compromised at any time? And then you move into the planning phase, and you wanted to identify your crisis leadership team. Who are you going to be your key soldiers in the event of a cloud incident or a cloud major incident within your organization? So you want to either start with your security operations, your executive leadership, your legal team. You want to identify that crisis management team. Who's going to be the key player that's going to be getting that information to and from the audience, the key stakeholders. And again, we have this nice plan. And I'll explain to you why I have plan in here all the time. And then you want to also determine your business impact. That also goes hand in hand with this assessing the risk, what the business impact to the organization would be in the event of a crisis. And then you want to plan, and you're going to identify a cloud provider that is going to help, store your information in case of a crisis, to help to put your major incident management plan in place to make sure that you have business continuity and disaster recovery efforts are in place to aid that in conjunction with, and of course, plan. And then you have your response time, and then you want to also implement those plans based off of the risk assessment, the identity of the team, determination of the impact, identifying cloud provider. You want to implement those plans, and then review and update those plans on accordingly yearly basis. Generally, it's yearly, or if there are any changes within the organization or within the cloud provider, or if the assessment test, if the risk has changed or the business impact has changed. I have plan here all over the place because you want to continue to plan throughout your operations. Because if you I have a famous quote that I've gotten: if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So that is why we always continuously plan when it comes to preparing for any cyber crisis. Okay, and so on this slide here, we're talking about cloud crisis management and major incident planning. This is going to be in conjunction with the previous slide. We want to communicate. It is extremely important to communicate when it comes to cloud crisis management to ensure that information flows from the top down and from the down up. When we have any incidents that are coming in the organization, and we want to start that communication from the first sign of any incident that could be happening within the cloud environment. It allows accurate information, like I mentioned, to flow, and it outlines all concerns and minimizes any possible confusion that could happen. And then we'll move on from communication to coordination, ensure that all business functions are aligned, resources are allocated efficiently and can effectively be a part of the team. It allows for prioritization and deduplication of efforts, optimizes response times and efforts. Then we want to move from coordination to collaboration, which goes in hand with communication, I believe, which, is a team. So we want to always provide and collaborate correctly to make sure that the information is good and flowing properly, including all the key stakeholders on that. Promotes knowledge sharing across teams. So you have the security operations team, you have your network team, you have your data backup team, you have the storage team, you have your server team. Everyone is communicating and collaborating in the event of a major incident in your cloud environment, and it creates innovation. And putting information in the cloud ensures business continuity, scalability, data availability, faster deployments, and it also helps your organization comply with security and compliance rules.
Thanks so much, Sherelle. Hi, everyone. This is Vince Hwang here, Senior Director for Products and Solutions of Cloud Security at Fortinet. So what I want to talk to you about is kind of build upon what Sherelle just talked about in terms of, she mentioned the 5 P's of crisis management. What I think we should also think about is what I would like to introduce is the 6th P in product management. And what is that? That's procurement. You can plan, you can predict, you can do a lot of things, but sometimes a little bit planning goes to pre-planning, where thinking about it from a pure procurement and planning perspective makes a lot of sense. Because sometimes, no matter how you do things and how technical things are, the speed of recovery also relies on the ability to have the right solutions and tools at hand. But there's a bit of balance that you have to think about when you think about cloud. A lot of CIOs and CFOs and CEOs today, right? Particularly the CFO is now part of that story. They kind of come in and they want to be involved because cloud costs can add up. And when you're in a crisis management and you're thinking about, a crisis situation, there's a balance point between investing ahead and also what is the consequence of not investing ahead, on top of already, insurmountable cloud costs to some CEOs, right? And so when you have the right procurement strategy in place, you can really help the speed of recovery and crisis mitigation. So let's talk a little bit about why, right? So I'll give you two scenarios, right? So why procurement? In a day, surprises happen, outages, disasters. You could be running in a cloud provider, right? You could be in a hybrid cloud world where you have some things, you got some local backups, you have things in the cloud.